Hello everyone. It's been a while since I've done a video and I thought it would be nice to do this, partly because I want to talk to children and adults at the same time, and also because I think it's a nicer approach sometimes than a letter about things. So what I want to talk about is the events that we have planned for the rest of this term. Obviously it's the summer term, it's always a busy term, but because of COVID we've had to make some decisions to make sure that we're staying safe as well. And the first thing that I'd like to talk about is Active Week. We are going ahead with Active Week. The two most important days are the 29th of June, which is the Tuesday, which is the field events day, or morning I should say, and the 1st of July, which is the track events morning as well. So we definitely want to go ahead with that. However, unfortunately, we cannot invite parents and visitors to come and watch this as we normally would, which is a great shame. And I know that you're going to be disappointed about that. And I'm very disappointed as well. I'm very sad to have to say that. I know as a parent myself how important PE days are, and it will be very sad that you can't come. At least the children will be able to enjoy it. And we are going to try to make it as live for you as we can. I've asked Mrs. Faircloth to be there, and she will be taking photographs throughout the whole of the day on the 1st of July. She'll take some photographs of some action ones of when they're racing. She'll take some photographs of the winners, the children who are waiting or applauding and cheering on their classmates. So just to give a flavour of what the sports day is like. And she will post these on Facebook straight away while it's happening. I know it's not the same thing, but I'm hoping that it will give you a little bit of a flavour of what it's like so that you can enjoy it a little bit. Just remember, though, that it's quite possible that not all of the children will feature in the photographs. It would be very difficult to try and make sure that every single child was in there. So it's more to give you a flavour rather than definitely be able to show your child on the photo. We'll do our best, but maybe some of them sadly might be missed out. It's impossible to make sure that everybody appears in them. And the other thing, of course, is that we do have our list of children whose photos must not go on Facebook. Parents have not given permission for that, so Mrs. Faircloth will pay attention to that and make sure that those children do not appear in the photos. So if you're not sure what permissions you have given, and if you definitely would like your child to be in a photograph, if possible, please let Mrs. Faircloth know. Okay. So that's the 1st of July, so that's the track events that we would normally invite parents and families to come and see. And hopefully we will have a nice day anyway, and hopefully those photographs will give you a flavour of that. It is called Active Week because we are very active all week. So on Monday of that week, the classes will be doing games with their teacher, so they will be doing things like rounders or cricket or something along those lines, which will be fun on the Monday. And on the Friday, we have the BMX Academy coming. And that means that every class will have a chance to have a go on some BMX bikes that they bring in. Now, the classes will do it separately, so the bubbles will remain intact. The bikes will be cleaned in between classes, so they will stay safe. But it does sound to me as if it's going to be a lot of fun, that. So what I would ask, just for ease, is that the children come in to school in their PE kit every day of Active Week, please. And that way you don't have to remember which day you got to think of the PE kit and which day you haven't. It's the whole of that week. So that's Active Week for you, with some sad news, of course, unfortunately. Fingers crossed that next year we'll be back to normal. I'm sure that we will be. So the next thing that we are going to be doing, because it's the 80th anniversary coming up of the school very soon, and of course because I'm leaving as well, we wanted to do a whole school photograph. We haven't done that for many years. In fact, I haven't been involved in one in this school, so I've been here for 6.5 years, so the last one was done quite a bit before then. A whole school photograph is a fun thing to have. It's a nice thing to have in the school, and of course I would like one as a souvenir as well of my time here. The way we're going to remain COVID safe with this is that it happens outside. The classes are all facing the same way. and the staff will be wearing their masks until the last minute, of course, when with the mask off and smile for the photograph. We're going to organise it in a way that the classes will be on the benches behind each other for a very small amount of time. We'll make sure that everybody is fully prepared, come onto the bench, smile for the photograph, come off. So I'm confident that we will remain COVID safe with the whole school photograph, but it will be a lovely souvenir to have. So all of the staff are invited to come for that, and of course all of the children. So make sure that your child is well dressed on that day. It's the 7th of July. In the morning it's going to happen. So a nice smart look for the uniform. Okay. If they normally would be coming in PE kit on that day, please make sure that they have their uniform to change into, or they could come in their uniform and then change into their PE kit just for that one occasion. But that's going to be a nice thing to have. I'm doing a special day with the children on the 13th of July. I've called it the Bailey Day, and I'm going to have a rota of the classes, and we are going to play some water games. So we might get rather wet. So for that, the children can bring in some swimming things, some shorts, something like that. Probably a t-shirt that you don't mind getting wet, because if it's really sunny we don't want children to get burnt. They could come in just some lightweight clothes that don't matter getting wet. It doesn't have to be swimming things, but they would need to have something completely to change into, including underwear afterwards, so that they're nice and dry after they've had their fun session outside with the water games, because I can guarantee we will all be getting wet for that. And on that day we'll also be having a picnic on the field. Again, each class will sit together and a little bit apart from the other classes so that we're remaining COVID safe, but fingers crossed that the weather will be nice enough for us all to sit outside and have a picnic. So it'll be a packed lunch that day, provided by the school if you normally have a free school meal, or provided by you if you prefer. But you will get more details about all of this, by the way, in a letter closer to the time. So that's the Bailey Day on the 13th of July. On the 14th, the very next day, we have our move-up time, which is when the children meet their new teacher and teaching assistant. Now, normally they would move to their new classroom for that time as well, so that they can see where they're going to be. But we didn't feel that that was safe this time, this year. So what's going to happen is that the teacher and the teaching assistant, their new one for September, will be coming to them. So the children will stay in their classroom. So they won't get to see their new classroom. However, they will get to meet their new teacher and teaching assistant. The teaching assistant and teacher will need to stay 2 metres apart, because they're not all part of the same bubble, so they will need to stand back, but they will plan some nice activities that they can do with the children, just so that the children can get to know them and feel more confident about September. More details will come out on that, including, of course, who the child's teacher will be, and you'll be getting a letter from me about that very soon now. Okay, so as you know, we send reports out by email, again because of COVID. So in the past, they would have all gone out on the same day, but because they're by email, it is a lot of a slower process. So they're going to start coming out to you from the 16th of July. So that's a Friday, the 16th of July. So you may get your child's report on the 16th of July, or you might get your child's report on the Monday or Tuesday, possibly the Wednesday, depending on how long it's taking. But you should be getting your child's report by the end of Wednesday at the very latest. Okay. And finally, but very importantly, I wanted to talk about Year 6, to the Year 6 children, and of course to the Year 6 parents, because Year 6 will be leaving us at the end of this term, and we want to mark that in a special way, in the way that we always like to do. But we have had to make some decisions about safety as well. So this is the plan. We will have a Year 6 Leavers Assembly, and that's going to be on the day before we break up. That's on the 21st of July. And we're going to film that live so that the rest of the school, the classes, can watch this on their screens. It's a little bit like we did the Christingle at Christmas. So that's what's going to happen. So they still get to do their assembly, and the school can still enjoy watching their assembly and listening to their memories and things like that. That can't go out to everybody, I'm afraid, for safeguarding reasons. However, the following day, the last day of term, we have arranged that we will have a leavers service at the Abbey, like we've always done in the past, but with an important change. Instead of the school going down to watch the leavers service, only the Year 6 parents will be invited to that, so that you will be able to come and see your children doing their Year 6 leavers service on the last day of term, which is so important, and I know that you will feel that that is a really important thing that you can come and see. Sadly, you can't see the assembly as well, but there will be a crossover of things that are happening in the assembly and in the service, so that you get to see that. That's going to be at 10 a.m. at the Abbey, and that's on our last day of term, which is the 22nd, Thursday the 22nd of July. There will be social distancing, of course, so of course if 2 of you come, then you will be able to sit together, but you will be 2 metres away from other parents. At the moment, as things stand, we're saying no more than 2 people per child. That may be able to change by then, and we may be allowed to have a few more people, well, maybe 1 or 2 more per child, but I don't know that yet. So at the moment, let's plan for it just being 2 adults per child coming to see the service on the Thursday. Right, I think I have gone through all of those events and the changes that have had to take place. Some disappointing news. It's lovely that we can still do some of these. The only other thing to mention that you may remember, we put on a bit of a pantomime at Christmas that was only able to be shown within school for safeguarding reasons. And at the time, we very much hoped that we would be able to put that pantomime on for a live audience. In other words, to invite all of the parents to come and see that. Sadly, because of things being delayed as they have been, that's no longer going to be possible. So we're not going to do the pantomime. There are other things that we can't do, the school fete, for example, which is such a shame. However, I want to think positively and think about the things that we can do, because that is really important. And we are lucky in many ways that with the things that we can do and have been able to do this term. I'm ever so pleased that Stibbington was able to go ahead and the Year 6 camp, despite the rain today, because of course last year the classes weren't able to do even that. So things are definitely progressing and getting back to normal, maybe just a little bit slower than we would have liked. So that's it from me. I will be sending all of this information out to you with further details. For example, the BMX day on the Friday of Active Week, we will be asking for a small contribution to help pay for that. We haven't worked out how much it will be yet. It will be the absolute bare minimum that we can afford, but I will put that in a letter to you closer to the time. So don't worry, you don't need to have made any notes. You will get all of that information, but I did want to just forewarn you about the things that we're doing. Okay, well, let's keep our fingers crossed for some good weather again. We've had some at the beginning of the week. It's not so good now, but I'm really, really looking forward to the end of this term and spending time with the children on my Bailey Day in particular. And of course, then I will be leaving. I am still in charge over the summer holiday because we've got our summer club running, and I need to be available just in case. So I am still contactable if necessary over the summer holiday. I will say my goodbyes at the end of this term though, because in most cases I probably won't see the children again. But I will pop in occasionally to say hello. This school means an awful lot to me, and I have no intention of letting you forget me. Okay, have a lovely weekend and see you all soon.